Damn, I was not expecting this trade.
I wouldn't either.
Y'all reaction to this? I'll start with you, Q.
I knew that a trade was gonna happen before the season. I just didn't know it was gonna be to Denver. I had been predicting on this show for years. No sources, obviously, on this one, but I knew that there was going to be a trade because Russell had put out that list of teams last season where he was like, "Look, this is where I want to go to if I was to be traded." To me, that was Russell Wilson's nice youth pastor way of saying, "Hey, y'all, get me the fuck out of here." So when you look at that list that he put out, I don't know if Denver was on that list, which is interesting. But Denver's always been just a QB away for like the last probably like 3 seasons now. They're really good on defense, or at least they're scrappy enough on defense. Solid O line, if I'm not mistaken, and they got a good receiving core that could be elevated with Russell
Great
already at,
receivers. Yeah.
you know what I mean, like Judy going crazy. And got a solid running back core too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they
So
do.
Broncos fans
Yeah,
can,
Williams. I think that the young boy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great trade for the Broncos. I think it's actually a steal. Um, I think we are in this age now as well when it comes to the NFL where people are like on two camps. There's one camp who understands just how important the franchise QB is nowadays, and there are people who are just kind of captive to team building as the entirety of like what should be the objective. Oh, we have to get the O line first, then we got to get the wide receivers, then we got to get the running backs, and then we'll find a quarterback. The number one objective of every organization should be to identify that diamond, identify what everyone is after, which is the gold mine of franchise QB, and then fill in the holes around it. And we just saw Joe Burrow get to a Super Bowl with a terrible, I mean, god awful offensive line, some good wide receivers, and a great wide receiver, and then I think, really just a solid defense. I think he elevated that defense to believe more than what they did. Mahomes, terrible defense, mediocre offensive line, no real running backs, generational wide receivers. Just really Mahomes elevating that team already with great staff around him. You look at the Bills. I can go on and on and on, is what I'm saying. The Broncos, they, to me, this is a complete steal of a trade. And any team that had first round picks, the Eagles, should have did this deal easily. And I think that the Broncos have just put themselves in contention already with Russell Wilson. I expect great things from him.
Before I move on, do you think he's gonna reject the trade?
I think he just passed his physical, if I'm not mistaken, from Adam Schefter. I just read, if you can check that for me, but I'm pretty sure he just passed his physical and agreed on his end to do it. So now it's on the other Broncos players now to pass their physicals as well.
Hmm.
Q, let me ask you something. You do bring up the Eagles a lot when you talk about Russell Wilson. I know you wanted that trade. In my opinion, that would not be a good move for the Eagles. And I'm not just talking about because I love Jalen. Take that off the table. I'm saying the Eagles are not a quarterback away from being in contention. Do you think they are? Am I missing something?
I just disagree with that whole philosophy of being a quarterback away. I think that that's where we have a rift at. Is I don't subscribe to that idea of, oh, teams need to be quarterback away. I don't agree with that. I think that the NFL is so volatile of a situation. I think it's so morale based. I think it's so talent being put in a position by coaching, injuries happening at every single second. I think it's such a volatile environment that all you need is to put talent in a locker room and see what happens. I believe that Russell Wilson raises a floor enough for a Philadelphia Eagles team to make a Quez Watkins, to make a Devontae Smith, to make a Dallas Goddard if we kept him in a trade or whatever, to make a Miles Sanders just that good enough to be able to sweep the NFC East for the next 3 years. And then if you're talking about three consistent first round buys because you're killing that division with Taylor Heineke and Dak Prescott when the Dallas Cowboys are declining, cutting players all the time. The Giants giving Daniel Jones one more year, basically punting to say we're gonna go get a QB next year. You're telling me that putting Russell Wilson in that situation where we just had Jalen Hurts go to Tampa, and I saw that game. If y'all have not seen that game, please go back and watch the film. Jalen Hurts had multiple wide receivers like Quez Watkins streaking wide open down the field, and he could not hit them. Wide open. Russell Wilson is one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL history, actually. And if we're talking about, the defense needed more help and we got to get corners, no, we don't. We don't need to do any of that. We need to go get a franchise QB and then fill in the holes. And everyone's like, oh, well, what if we trade the first 3 first-round picks? Because we have 3 first-round picks. Everyone who was on that camp of anti-Russell in Philly was like, we don't need to trade those 3 first-round picks. It doesn't make any sense. Why? So Howie Roseman can go draft 3 more bums? Like what? What is the logic here? You're already gonna draft probably 3 mediocre to mid players. We already see what Jalen Reagor and JJ Arcega-Whiteside are doing, drafting those guys over Justin Jefferson and drafting those guys over DK Metcalf. So you're telling me that no, keep the 3 picks and then disregard the fact that we still have rounds 2 through 7 if we were able to finagle it, and then we still have free agency. We still have the ability to trade players, and veterans will come on minimums to go win in Philly. I don't see why people are not getting that this is a pretty easy equation. It's the same shit with James Harden, where for years everyone said, "Don't trade Ben Simmons. He's so young. There's no reason to." Fuck that. Go get me an actual talented guy who fits in this culture. And I thought that Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson or Rodgers even would have came right in and did what they need to do.
Sheldon, I don't know why the hell you brought up this damn Eagles conversation. We talking about the Denver Broncos and this big ass trade they made with the Seattle Seahawks. So if you're an Eagles fan listening, you just got some good shit because we ain't coming back to that. Well, how do you feel about the damn trade?
Go Eagles. I'm surprised. I didn't think he was gonna go to Denver. I really didn't, but it makes sense from a football standpoint because that's the most player ready team out of all the ones we were considering. We think about the Giants, Eagles, and different places he could go to. That made the most sense. It really did because he can win now with that franchise. Once again, we talk about the talent. They got talent all across the board on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. You know, you got a 2-headed monster at running back and Jamal Williams and Melvin Gordon. You got your wideouts with Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, some other wideout they got too.
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick.
Patrick.
Yeah, so they got players all over. They got another tight end too. I can't remember his name, but they got players everywhere for him to make plays. So similar to Seattle, Seattle he had those guys on the outside, but here he has that plus some. So he goes somewhere where the talent around him was already elevated. They didn't give up down now to get him, and he can win right now. He can win next year.
He's not winning next year, but Ken, what you think about this trade?
Russell picked this team. Russell sat there and lied to the folks in Seattle. For some time now. He had a no trade clause, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he picked Denver. Denver came with a package. Other teams came with a package, and he was like, "All right, I want to go to Denver. I like the roster. Blah 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 blah." I guess Denver is trying to replicate what they did with Peyton Manning when they went and got him and
went to 2 Super Bowls.
I can tell y'all right now that shit ain't happening.
That shit ain't gonna happen at all. I love the trade though. I love to see the fact that Denver's trying.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Denver, you clearly can't draft a quarterback. So why not? You saw Drew Lock, Paxton Lynch, and all this other stuff. Von Miller got the fuck up out of there because y'all didn't know what the hell you were doing. You were wasting this year.
In the same season.
Won a Super Bowl. I guess maybe Denver is like, well, shit, fuck those picks. Trying to do what the Rams did. So maybe, if anything, this could be like an indication of what teams are going to start doing moving forward.
Is this the super? Are we in the super team era of the NFL? With the last 5 years dealing with someone leaving their situation, going to another place. Like, honestly, it probably we could honestly say the Peyton Manning trade or signing was like the Boston Celtics thing, where it was like, all right, this is the first architecture structure of a super team, and then other teams follow suit. I like the trade. For Denver's perspective, I think I like the trade from Seattle, depending on if they can draft a quarterback, which I believe they're going to try to do either this year or they may try to. I don't know how the trades work. They could move these picks.
That's what I'm
to
thinking.
Get somebody else.
You got some players out there like Deshaun Watson still on the board. They got players that they can move around and make some moves for us.
Yeah,
There's quarterbacks out there.
Well, I won't say that because it's the same division.
Ain't no damn quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, ain't nobody out there. Deshaun,
It's solid quarterbacks out there for them to get like they some of the Baker Mayfields and things of that nature that are
you
able
might
to
as well
move.
draft Malik
Nope.
Willis
Yep.
or Kenny Pickett if you
Yep.
want to do that shit.
But
You
are those
got
picks
three
up there?
you got 3 draft picks.
There's nobody out
over the
there.
next 2 years.
Yeah, I
Watson
think
the
they'll be
only
out
one.
the board.
So
And Watson, you gonna have to give up all your picks for Watson.
Man, Watson, man.
And I don't think he coming back. I think he out the league. I think we
man,
looking at a cap 2.0, except it was for different reasons. He took a knee somewhere else.
I saw that he gonna be an XFL superstar.
Man,
Nah,
but no, I
died
think
at that.
the main reason why I say they're not gonna win shit. Look at that division. AFC West is now the best division in football. I thought it was gonna be the AFC North again, or even the NFC West, but it's now the AFC West. Patty Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and now Russell Wilson. And then you got whoever the fuck is going to be in the Raiders, Derek Carr, whatever. Derek Carr is your worst quarterback in your division. That says a lot about your division. Because I think pretty much all of them almost had a chance to get to the playoffs, except for Denver. But I just don't see. I think the AFC is now a juggernaut. I don't see anybody. There's only one team that's coming out of that division successfully. So I don't think Denver is going to have a quick turnaround. I don't think they're going to progress more than the Chiefs. And if the Chargers can somehow get a good coach over the next 2 years, then I don't think that they'll get past them either. I don't know. I think this is just a weird timing for the trade, but I don't mind the move. But I just don't think it's gonna be that successful. I think we're gonna get hyped up and be like, oh shit, Russell Wilson versus Patty twice a year.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson Justin Herbert twice a year, and it's gonna be more of the same. Because he got to get past Patty, he got to get past the division, then Josh Allen, then Lamar, then Joe Burrow, and then go to the NFC. You know what I'm saying? Then go against the Rams and the 49ers and all that. It's like,
I think it's doable though.
what's doing?
I'm with you, Sheldon. I'm with you. I think that like I just said about the Eagles, although this is about the Denver Broncos. It's a volatile league, man. Like at every point, like who's to say that knock on wood, Patrick Mahomes out next year with a season-ending injury. Now what happens? Or oh shit, now
but that's
you know what I mean? Like
that's
anything
any
can
year.
happen.
We can say
And that's
that
what
about
I'm saying.
anybody,
and anything can happen.
No,
Any
I'm just
given
saying, but
Sunday.
like based off of competition right now, if everybody's healthy, which we always assume going into the season, everybody's gonna be healthy.
But no one's gonna be, and that's the one thing we do know is that everybody is not gonna be healthy. So
this year, who did any quarterback that played in the playoffs this year were they hurt to like, or was there any team that was hurt by injuries that was like a contender going into the season? I don't think so. I think everybody who made the playoffs, we all thought was gonna make the playoffs.
So let me ask you this: how many wins do you think adding
the Bucks suffered when they lost some key guys?
Yeah, they picked 100%.
Well, that was towards, but they still made the playoffs and they were.
Yeah, but that's because they front loaded all their wins.
And the only thing else
had a meltdown.
Lamar Jackson is the only one I could think.
Yeah,
of.
he's enough, but they could not compete in the playoffs without their guys.
How many wins do you think adding Russell Wilson to this team?
How many they win last year?
6
They were
wins.
7-10.
That's 6 wins right there.
I think he adds 3.
Stop.
You think just 3 wins?
3 in that division. Look, you act like he gonna just get 6 wins out of nowhere. He got to face 6. He got to face at least 4 of them going into his division. He gonna probably lose 4 out of those. I don't think he can beat up on the Raiders. That's it. The Chiefs twice. I don't think that defense is good enough to beat the Chiefs twice.
4 to the Chiefs.
They could beat the Chiefs once.
4 to the
12.
Raiders. 5 to the Bengals. So the games they were losing, they're not losing.
But that's a different dynamic now, though. That's with run. We're not passing the ball; we're running the ball. You know what I'm saying? So that protects a lead, or that protects the score. Russell's gonna throw that motherfucker, and we've seen Russell throw picks.
But Russell had most of his success with Marshawn running the ball. And the thing is, though, is that
you're not giving up your future like that to make this motherfucker just hand the ball off. That's why he left Seattle.
No. And I would disagree with that. I think the reason why he left Seattle is because they couldn't get an offensive line and they didn't find any running backs who could stay healthy so that they could mix it up. I think that, like you're saying, he is going to throw the ball, but Pete Carroll is very pass-happy offense after Marshawn Lynch retired and then left, and when the defense took a step down. So I think that with the defense you know, better than the Seahawks and with better running backs, with a better offensive line, I think we're going to see a more balanced attack. And I think that Russell's in that stage of his career now. He's going to still get the numbers, but it's going to be a mixed up. And I think that they could beat the Chiefs one time. They could sweep the Raiders. They could, beat the Chargers twice. I could see that easily.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a loaded team, man. You gotta watch them. I put
It ain't loaded because y'all talk about them receivers. Them receivers ain't shit for real. I've seen
Whoa.
Patrick
They're
Surtain.
nice.
I've seen I had Surtain or Cortland Sutton as
He
as
got
my
hurt.
as a wide receiver. He ain't do shit.
He got hurt.
Still ain't do shit.
Well, who was his QB?
Jerry Jeudy.
Drew Lock.
I mean,
He got hurt too.
Jerry Jeudy
we
played.
can't use that excuse because I seen DeAndre Hopkins with a butcher Baker and Kansas make a throw to his ass, and he was still balling.
That's
Not to
DeAndre,
say that
yeah.
they're supposed to be on that level,
DeAndre's an
but a
alien.
QB should not be the reason why you don't get your numbers.
That's
But
hard to
a lot
say.
of times, it is though.
Mike Evans had Jameis Winston. He still got his numbers, and he got.
Jameis can play,
Jameis
though.
can play,
Jameis had
I'm just saying, but
5,000
he's
yards,
not
though.
Tom Brady, is he?
but Jameis threw for
He's
how
a
many yards?
he's a lesser quarterback.
Four-
He had
4,000
5,000 yards in Tampa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
James.
I mean,
Jameis got yards.
Yeah, Jameis could play.
I'm
Now,
just
if
saying.
you're talking about Drew Lock, now
I'm
Paxton Lynch,
saying lesser quarterbacks should not determine if you're still not a star or not. We should still see star potential.
Now, if you're talking
Odell,
about D-Hop, go ahead,
Odell,
Q.
Baker, Odell and Baker, like, come on, dude. Like, we've
look at-
seen
yeah.
that.
Baker had a good relationship with Higgins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it was. I'm just saying. And Odell was making drops too in them Cleveland games too. So it's not like it's all Baker.
The only person that you were right about is D-Hop. D-Hop had ass throwing him the ball.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
But D Hop is an alien though, and that's what
Yeah,
separates
right.
him. You know what I mean?
Well, most of those players I mentioned were first round picks. Someone was even top 10. So it's like those are picks that you're supposed to predict. Like, oh, regardless, you're gonna be a star.
They still got to give them the ball when they open. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's still up to the quarterback to get them the ball.
Devontae Smith was open multiple times throughout the season, and Jalen Hurts being an okay QB missed him. He probably left 1,000
Devontae
yards
Smith
on
got
the
good
table.
numbers though. I'm not saying he's gonna be a star. He had almost 1,000 yards. He had how many
And so
touchdowns?
did
He
Judy.
had,
Yeah, and
how many touchdowns he had? Q
Judy or Vontae?
Smith.
Like 6.
I think he had like 6 or 7.
I think it was like 6.
That's
Yeah.
solid for a rookie year.
Well, it's
And Judy had like 5.
yeah. That's what I'm
5.
saying, and he was hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
Judy
I'm
was
saying.
hurt, so we don't know what he could have done with Drew Lock. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
of course, your numbers are not going to be the same with the superstar QB, but you shouldn't fall off a cliff because your QB in there. That says a lot to me.
Judy nice. Cortland, he's a good 2. But Judy's nice, man. Judy is nice. He will be.
We'll
different.
see. I don't know.
He will be different.
I'm iffy
Now,
on
I'm
Judy.
not hyping this Denver Broncos team like everybody else. I mean, they got 2 good receivers that, Russell Wilson should be able to elevate them to a next level. At least Judy, he'll finally have somebody that can throw in the ball. The defense, I guess they're good. I don't know, man. I know everybody's hyping this team, and I get it. I understand it, but I don't know. I'm just not that
to me,
sold.
they're the average team getting an above average quarterback.
I'm not hyping the team. I just see talent across the board. I see that they have a lot more talent, like I
got
said,
talent.
than the other teams. That's what I looked at. The
We
talent,
don't know
and
what
now
those other teams
But
were.
see,
though.
here's the thing, and I think this is going to say a lot about Russell Wilson.
that's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, hey, he go here and flop.
Right. Now we got a different story. What I'm saying is you add a talent and leadership like what you think you're supposed to get from Russell
But
Wilson.
the GM said he ain't a good leader.
Do you think they win a division this upcoming season?
That's tough to say. I doubt
You over
that.
here saying that they can win? Y'all
saying
between
they
you
can
and
win
Q, y'all
games.
say they can win. They can beat the split with the Chiefs, sweep the
Yeah,
Chargers.
I'm
sweep
saying
the
they can make a
Ravens.
run.
Like,
I'm saying they can make a run, but say they win the division or something else. I mean they're not my favorites. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this makes them formidable.
so
opponents.
if they're not the favorites to win a division at this trade, then what are you saying?
I'm saying that they can be competitive and they can make the playoffs and make a run in the playoffs.
Also, I want to say real quick, the Seahawks released Bobby Wagner after 10 seasons.
Bobby Wag,
Yes,
Yeah,
he
they
probably gonna
released
sign
him.
to see Denver.
that's what somebody said in the chat.
Well, I don't know. Russell don't got no relationship with that defense.
Chief Miyagi said, "Do we think he's gonna sign with?"
Nah, he
Uh,
going somewhere
He
else.
going to the Rams.
Might as well.
Yeah,
Fuck around.
that
Hey,
that sounds.
they
that sounds
don't
about
have
right.
no linebackers.
I'm saying,
They don't have no linebackers. He
Flip.
fuck around could go to the Bills too.
Yeah.
shit, ain't nobody
Dang,
going to
Seahawks
upstate
in
New
a
York.
rebuild.